Right, right, okay, guys. So, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. I'm joined by somebody that some of you may not know, but I guarantee in a couple of years you will know the name. The work ethic it's second to none. So, very special guest, Josh Evans. So, if you'd like to take it away, Josh, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Just want to thank Josh for having, my namesake for having me on today. So basically, we came across just through Instagram. I think Josh followed me, which was quite surprising because I don't have a big following, and he has a much bigger one than me. But we kind of stand for the same things, and when you do stand for the same kind of things, you do kind of click. So we're always reflecting and bouncing off ideas, especially in terms of business. Um, I went through OFB and the online fitness business stuff like that, so I give more industry proven kind of methods in terms of my business. And then Josh kind of like went through the trenches, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So obviously it's nice to see success on different levels anyway. So bear in mind I've been doing it just under 6 months.
yeah,
So for me personally, I run Evans Elite. Obviously my name's Josh Evans, and it's more or less trying to teach people to go from nothing to getting the best results possible. Not just a case of losing, 4 to 5 pounds. It's more of like getting photo shoot ready, If you want to compete, you can compete. But photo shoot ready, everybody wants to look better. I put it from my own bodybuilding perspective because how I believe it is, in my thesis, is that when people come to me as clients online, in person, they'll come up to me and they'll say, I want to look toned, but toned is the biggest myth you'll come out.
yes, yes.
So does that mean you want to gain muscle and lose fat, or do you just want to lose fat anyway, or do you want to just get bulkier? You never know. And it's a constant process that you need to keep going through and keep monitoring in order to achieve this end goal, which you'll never really achieve. It's just something to strive for. But you walk into a gym with an idea of changing how you look, which means you're actually a bodybuilder.
Of course, yes. That's essentially what bodybuilding is. As long as you're in a gym and you're aiming to better your body, what we are doing is bodybuilding. You just don't have to take to the extremities that some people do. And the thing with Evans Elite is that one thing that always blows me away is the aesthetic look of it. We're in an industry where you can deny it however you want, but appearances and the aestheticness of stuff does count. And when you go on the page, everything is so cleanly laid out. And in order of photo shoot ready, his niche. So in terms of when we get along with business, his niche is very evident to. It speaks to a lot of people. Personal training is personal, and so is online coaching really. So he has the solution to a lot of general people, whereas mine is very niche based. I'm trying to produce a niche in which is just strictly muscle building, and the aim for me is to work with sort of like-minded bodybuilders and go into contest preps and stuff like that. So, but I mean, like I say, we got connected through Instagram, and he was mentioning about the following. I guess with me, I thought my attitude towards growing Instagram has changed significantly. I always thought that you just had to have more followers and that was it. You just make it big time. But obviously, as I've got to that, this is years ago. But obviously now it's more just doing ads, connecting with the right people. You want to create a community. You want to create friendships, and it's with people like Josh, like-minded people that I've almost, to be fair, the relationship that me and Josh have is close to some of the people that I have here, and that is because the beauty of Instagram is that you can almost fine tune your friends. Like me and Josh are literally mirror images of what we want from the industry. I can't really think of one person in my area that I can share that with, and that is sort of like the beauty of Instagram. So I can be connected with a lot of like-minded people, which helps massively with business because I can send Josh a message, I'll learn from him. There is stuff that I've learned from him, and he can send me a message, and I'll be able to teach him about stuff as well. So it's a good platform for learning, for bettering yourself. So even though we are the coaches, we're the trainers, we're still always learning. So
Yeah,
yeah, I think
always
that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, you say about people in your area. I was lucky enough because my story was I've always done training with rugby
Mm.
and stuff like that. So there was a lot of the 5x5, um, back squat, power clean, stuff like that. I found really tedious. Then I had sciatica from it because it was just lifting without serious form.
Yeah,
I think since then my back squat has gone down from like what 200 plus at the age of 16, 17.
wow,
I haven't back squat properly since. Um, but then my gym had a refurb around Christmas time 2 years ago, and I went down to a gym about 10, 15 miles away, which some people don't want to travel to because it's too far. But then I've met people like Jack Thorburn and
Exactly, yeah.
stuff like that anyway. And, me and Jack have trained together, we filmed together, and I've learned so much from him. And you surround yourself with like-minded people and put yourself in this kind of environment that you do want to succeed from it. You want something better. If I was still in the gym I was originally, I'd never been doing PT or anything like that.
Spot on, yeah. So my style of gyms has been a reflection of my progression in terms of physique. So I started off, obviously I don't come from a rugby background like Josh, so that 200 squat was just mind blowing. I didn't even know that about you at 16 years of age as well. And with that being rugby, that'll be in full depth as well, no quarter squats there. But yeah, like I say, I started off 16, general gym. I was literally just bro splits, curls every day, legs once a week, and yeah, I did that. Transitioned into another gym. I sort of fastly became the best of my age there, and then I was like, well, what do I do now? There was no room for self-improvement. So then obviously I was managed to get my job because I come from sort of a PT as well as online coach. I'm a full-time PT as well. So I train there where I'm surrounded by, again, a lot of people that are stronger and bigger, and that gives me a pool to succeed in. But then obviously Josh travelled 10, 15 miles away. I'll do the same sort of like maybe fortnightly. I go to Ultraflex. A lot of you have probably heard of that gym. Very good gym. And like I said, that is just breeding bodybuilders. The atmosphere is second to none. If you don't go there and hit a PB, you're doing something wrong. So, but with the gym you're at, that is the one, if I believe Flex Lewis came out of, isn't it?
That's true. Yeah, that is correct. He's still. I was down there around, was it summertime last year, and I see this guy come in, and he was shorter than me. I'm only 5'6".
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, you don't really see much people shorter than me.
Yeah.
And then you see the forearms on him, which are like twice the size of my thighs.
Ridiculous forearms.
Like,
yeah.
That's Flex Lewis. It's crazy, but he's the nicest guy I've come across.
Yeah, I've never met him, but I mean, what's it like, sort of like, because he must just have like an aurora around him. Like, I mean, how was your session when he was there?
Well, you look at somebody like that, and it's you see bodybuilders, you see different athletes and stuff like that, but you don't realise that it's not just a person at the top of their game. It's somebody who has like set the trend and set the standard in their field. So Flexo was a set the Mr. Olympia 212 standard for life.
Yeah.
So you just got to think, how much more can I push myself to get anywhere near that? Or you always want to be better. So use it as a benchmark. If you don't reach it, you've still improved yourself. But I think, the whole intimidating atmosphere of slamming weights and stuff like that was non-existent when he was there. He was really cool and composed about it all.
Yeah, the whole Ronnie Coleman thing, sort of like, yeah, buddy, from time to time it'll get you a bit motivated, get you gas preset, but the whole sort of dropping weights, moving it from point A to point B is quite outdated nowadays. I mean, and if you don't want to think like that, just look at Ronnie now. The guy, I mean, yeah, 8-time Mr. Olympia, but my God, he is broken in half back nowadays. And a lot of the people I train with, so like older males, they'll be saying like, oh, back in my day we used to do this, and they'll be like, yeah, but you've got a fucked up shoulder now. And then when I ask them the reason behind that, and I'll say, do you know about mobility, or do you know about internal, external rotations and warm-up drills? They'll be like, what's that? So it's like years, decades of years of just battering your shoulders, when really Flex Lewis has set that standard. He can still be big and still lift in a controlled manner, which is very good. And with obviously Flex as well, with him coming from the same town as you, Wales is only a small place. I've been to Wales myself. It's not mega populated, is it, unless you're in the city centre?
Yeah, I mean, you go to the city, like Cardiff city centre is pretty busy, especially from my standards, but I'm like 50 miles away from there anyway. We've got Swansea, that's pretty quiet, but it's like the outskirts of Swansea. I train, so it's a busy gym, but it's not busy enough to completely put you off your session.
Yeah, but I say the most
beautiful with your whole Ronnie Coleman hyping yourself up for a session. There's only so much hype that you can deliver for yourself before your performance starts to deteriorate, and it's like an inverted U theory. So you can hype yourself up, but then if you hype yourself up too much, you completely throw your performance off.
Yeah. It's like what goes up must come down, and essentially that's why you've got to look for good panels on when you're taking supplements like pre-workouts and stuff like that. But the beauty of Flex is something that I'm trying to emulate as well, is that out of a town so small, out of a town with minimal bodybuilders, he's literally came out and dominated the entire worldwide fitness game, which is mind-blowing. And when I'm in my area, and I'm probably one of the youngest PT and the only one that is doing the lengths that I do, then
Yeah.
it's sort of like it gives us that verification that we can do that, which is something that we're gonna do. Years to time, years to come, people know your name. People are gonna know my name. I want to cause damage in this industry, and
Yeah.
that comes from self belief and also looking at the results from other people doing it as well. So yeah, but anyway, so you've just done a nutrition seminar. Well, not just done, maybe about a month or so back now, is it?
Yeah, I think about four, maybe just under a month. I'm not too
Yeah.
sure. It was sometime within the last month.
Mm.
And so for me, I've always been a quiet, proper introvert. I post on Instagram a lot. I like thinking about mindset and mental health a lot.
Yeah.
It's something quite close to me personally and with family, stuff like that, and friends. And there's a big epidemic going around right now of, you got to treat people better, full stop. So I got to think, you got to think of how people feel.
Yeah.
So with me, I was like this really quiet person. I still am. I speak, you asked me to do this 6 months ago, I would have told you no.
Yeah.
Asked me to do PT last year, I would never have done it because I wouldn't work with people. Now it's like, I wouldn't even have posted on social media 12 months ago, maybe 18 months ago maximum. It was only when I started moving into the new gym and got myself into this kind of environment that I did start doing it. And it was hard at first, so anybody listening to this that wants to do it, especially the younger ones, because I wish I'd done it when I was young and I was getting these crazy bigger lifts when I was younger and rugby-wise, just do it. Your first post may not get likes. People may start slagging you off about it, but at the end of the day, if you play a sport or you have a talent and you can post about it on Instagram, do it. And I think with the nutrition kind of thing, I started speaking about it more, and I got in touch with one of my old gyms as a actual strength and conditioning coach who's worked with semi-pro and professional rugby teams, and he runs a strength and conditioning group which runs like every day throughout the week. And he got in touch with me and said, "Look, we have the workouts and stuff like that. Would you mind coming along and giving a big talk about basic nutrition?" And I said, yeah, I'd be more than happy to. At the end of the day, I'll move on to a business perspective. That's 30 names. If I got an email from every single person in there, that's 30 people you can add to an email list. And if you're looking to do PT, you need an email list.
Business right there, boom.
So I gave a talk on basic things, how you calculate your daily calories, the importance of each macronutrient, your micronutrients. And it went down pretty well. I've got people messaging me saying how well the talk went and stuff like that, which I was quite happy with. But I went in and I enjoyed it. Was I nervous? Yeah, probably. I still have, the quiet tendencies I did 2-3 years ago up to now. But you just got to do it. But it's the same old. I'd like to do more of them. Maybe talk a bit more about training as well, because I prefer training to the nutrition side of it.
Yeah, and so obviously Josh had the idea as well and gone through with a seminar. I've sort of been back and forth and always been like, I feel like with my gym, I'd obviously have to do it out of my gym, and I'm the youngest PT in there. So yeah. I think that, I don't even know if there's a word for it, but almost like ageism maybe. Because I'm young, I get a lot of people sort of look down on me and they think that I lack some sort of experience, but they forget that I literally, almost 20, as soon as I wake up, I'm learning. That's it, I'm investing, I'm always learning and stuff like that. So I've always been back and forth within doing a seminar in my gym, but it's little stuff like that and the stuff how we rebound off each other that it's, I'm now able to do these seminars. So it's literally just, if you're going to do something, bite the bullet and do it.
Yeah, got to. I mean,
you just got to do it.
All you got to think of is, especially when you go back to posting, how I always thought of it was, I got to find a way to justify why I'm doing it. I'm not just doing it to look like a knob. I'm not trying to show off. I don't get social gratification. At the end of the day, I use Instagram to market my business, and the more popular my business becomes, the more lives I can impact. All of a sudden, if one post could get one person to get to that gym the next day and make an improvement, whether they want to change physically or they just want to feel better and get that dopamine hit from training and feeling better about themselves, that's my life. So, that's made me really happy.
The reason why we chase more followers is that one person then turns into 10, then 100, then before you know it, you're on a scale like JP and Mark Coles where we're doing tens of thousands.
I'm not too. I've been around the same follow count for about 6 months now, People that follow unfollow. Some people don't like my content.
Yeah.
But what happened was, everybody used to abuse hashtags, which I did for like a month or so, and they picked me up like 500 followers at once. But what you'll start finding is Instagram will wipe them. A lot of them are bots,
Yeah.
but then a lot of people then find out the hashtags you're using aren't applicable to them.
Of course.
It's straight off following this.
Yeah, there is obviously ways. Some work, some don't. You've got, I mean, Instagram again. Me and Josh run businesses. We are like business-minded people, so we know about ads, about funneling, about emails and stuff like that. Instagram is a business as well. But even at the top tier coaches, we are all still Instagram's little clients. They need to make money off of us. So when it comes to growing the followers, you've got the algorithm, but ultimately the only way to grow and succeed and to be on Instagram's good list is to keep doing your ads, paid adverts, specialised marketing. You could do stuff like follow and follow, which I'm guilty of doing. Again, when I was, 2-3 years ago, and again, it gets you the numbers, it gets you the likes, but what you've got to realise is when we're running a business, when we're trying to generate leads and sales and change people's lives, you want those people to be future leads. You can't generate a lead with a bot, can you? You can't generate a lead with somebody over in fucking Egypt. So they've got to be probable clients. They've got to match your target audience. Having 10,000 followers of bots and girls that are just going to spam your stuff, again, it's going to get you the traction, but is it going to get you business? No. So that's ideally the way we've got to look at things when we are growing Instagram. Again, this is coming from a guy that's sitting on 12.2 thousand followers. Half of them are not generated leads, and I don't know how that's going to make me look, but it's the truth, and I'm a transparent person, so just learn it from me when you've got to take it the right way, because I took it the wrong way to start with.
You have to. I mean, it's tough because I've always thrived off other people's opinions and stuff like that, but then a lot of people, not that I'm quite mutual friends with, you say it right to them when you're out or whatever, but you're not too close to them, and they start following you and everything. And when one person does it, maybe it's not too bad, but when it's tens and then hundreds, etc., and people turn on and say, "I just don't like what you're doing."
Yeah.
So do you want to look better? Do you like the information, or is it just complete disrespect for what me and what I believe in? So it's a tough one. But at the end of the day, do not let the follow counts dictate of what you're doing or anything like that.
Some people, the ones that are following you, and I know this 100% because I've gone through it, and I know this because I can see where your business is going, and the harsh truth is that people just don't like to see you succeed. I've seen people that have fully came up to me, said I'm sound, I'm looking in good shape, everything, gone on my Instagram and then unfollowed me. I've seen them face to face in the gym, and whilst I'm pulling my top sets, they're literally there just watching me enviously. A lot of people do not want to see you succeed, but I just stick a big middle finger up to that, and I just keep posting more. Consistency is going to be your best friend. I get people on my account, although engagement's not the highest and stuff like that, I do change lives, and I do get the business that Josh is getting as well, and I get people saying, "Josh, I'm literally sick of seeing your face." The aim is to literally be at every outlet of training, so I'm talking stories, live videos, YouTube, podcasts, absolutely everything. You want to be across everybody's screen, because that way you can change hundreds of lives. You can get across that info that needs to be said, because otherwise we're going to get onto shit like Boom Bud, and then they're advertising to people like Cristiano Ronaldo, and it's like, what the fuck do we do there?
Like anybody who's looking to buy supplements, you've got to find something that isn't being endorsed. So my rule of thumb is, if it has got a very, very big celebrity, which so Herbalife has Ronaldo, and then you've got all the Geordie Shore fake celebrities off Boombod and stuff like that, and Fit Tea, that you can tell the product's shit. All the money that's going into the product is going into marketing and paying these people hundreds, thousands per year, millions maybe.
Which is probably why the product's actually so shit, because all their money generated from that one couple of sales, they spend it all on adverts, when they could spend it less on adverts and create a product that could be a little bit better. But ultimately, it's boom bob, for fuck's sake. We always know it's going to be a pile of shite.
Yeah.
The caption was ridiculous. If you honestly believe that you can achieve these transformations in 4 weeks, it's just natural selection at this point.
It really is. I mean, here's my pet hate. Why are we using scale weight as our only measurement when you want it? If you're a fighter and you need to make a weight limit, by all means make the weight limit. Yeah, you can have water cutting and stuff like that. I'm not too clued up on how fighters do it, so I won't speak too much about it. But once it gets to the point where somebody comes up to me and they say, I want to look better. And then they put pictures up saying, oh, this is me before carbs, this is me after carbs.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, I done 2 days on the burn patches. Oh,
yeah.
It's like a nicotine patch you put on your hands and stuff like that. Apparently it burns fat because it releases just hormones. They didn't tell me what hormones they released or anything like that. It was just hormones. I said, what calories are you expending doing that? And he said, oh, I'm just doing the same as normal. But it doesn't work like that.
A lot of these people just lack the common understanding of how the body works and the fundamentals of nutrition. And it's because, again, the harsh truth is that it's not an overnight process. It's going to take consistency. It's going to take fluctuations. You're not going to see progress week after week, even if you are ticking boxes. And as humans, as how we act, we want to see progress all the time. And when we don't, we get disheartened. And then we start looking for shortcuts to get to that end result faster. And this is where, again, like Boom Board, Slimming World have literally just came in and swooped that little audience up. And because that audience is such a vast number, it's leaving coaches like us, like, we're trying as best, but at times it'll seem like a losing battle. Because, I mean, you've got the info that both myself and Josh put out, and other coaches as well, not just me and Josh. Some of it is phenomenal. We've got people paying us, there's no point saying amount, but we've got people paying us a significant amount per hour for these services, and we give this out for free. So I smack my head against the wall. It's like, what? Like, why would you? This is hard work. This is years of back to research that works. So why go for 4 weeks of shite?
It is because, one of my pet hates also, I have so many with the industry as well, that the best ones who provide education, because that's what you need education, but education stops there. Once you know what to do, go and apply it, see if it works for you. So you have Jordan Peters and then stuff like that. You have all the big names, and then you have, I'm not saying go get bodybuilders, but go find somebody that provides education for what you want. If you can find somebody who has a PhD in what you do, you need to follow them. Yeah. They provide information for free, which they have taken 5 to 10 years of extra learning just to provide for you.
Yeah.
You're not paying them. They're giving you out free information, which you can apply for yourself.
Of course.
But then you have, all of a sudden, these celebrities, and they are celebrities, you've got the whole Jen Selden movement and stuff like that, like 5+ million followers on every single one of them. And then I'm seeing them doing, like, courtesy lunges and stuff like that, but their knees are bent.
Yeah, you see.
That's an ACL injury, which is 9 months recovery anyway.
Yeah, you see some bad stuff, and like I say, it's literally just appeals. Like, you be a guy. I've seen guys my age just with abs, and they say buy my plan, buy my 6-week plan, or buy my ab workout, and people fucking buy the shit. It's like, what are you doing? And I understand the whole idea of sex sells, but at one point you've got to like flick your brain on and think, what are you spending your money on? Yeah. So it's like, just. I don't know. I honestly don't have an answer to that, but all it is that I'm going to give my solution, and I know that day by day, week by week, I'm getting that one message, that 1 or 2 sales, and slowly I'm getting there. So I'm just hoping that with continuous progression, it's going to work.
Right now, because I'm still in uni anyway, I'm doing a completely different graduate degree, so I'm down the law route, and it was only until last year when I was driving home, and I just thought, I really don't fancy doing this for a living. I'll get my degree and maybe I'll go on and do the LPC, which is like the masters in it. But after that, then it's another 3-4 years and being fully qualified.
Yeah.
And at that point, there, I actually came across. I tell you, one of my biggest clicks was when I was speaking to Jack, and we were speaking about online coaching and stuff like that. And he told me about. A lot of people know is Adrian Morris, and he was saying about he makes good money from it. And obviously, at the end of the day, you want to be able to do something you enjoy. But if the incentive to make more money doing something you enjoy and making worse money on something you won't enjoy as much is there, you've got to take it.
Yeah.
So I thought I want to make something that I can be proud of. I wanted to make a brand, not just a logo or just a bunch of T-shirts or just workouts on YouTube or anything like that. I wanted to make something people could appeal to. And when people say my name, they know that I stand for something in the fitness industry. I'm not just a name. So I had a chat, and he said he was making decent money from it. So I thought, I'm going to give it a shot. While I'm in uni, I have no commitments to pay for. So I went all out on it.
Yeah. Love that. So sort of like, what are your goals long term, and where do you see yourself in maybe 3 a year, maybe by even next year? You wanted to be full-time coaching, still pursuing law, or, what would your main profession be?
I think since I started OFB, so that was just the turn of the year now, and they said to me, "What would your dream income be?" And it was something like I said, I just plucked the number, yeah, because money isn't a huge thing for me. It's just if I was happy doing it. And I said, well, 10,000 a month. They said, we want you to be making that within 3 months. And at that point, then they said that was a big confidence filler. And then they put me into this big group. The course is brilliant. I haven't implemented everything I need to yet. Like I haven't done paid advertising just yet or anything like that.
But you have just started the ad, which is
I
amazing.
done one. That's got like a week or so left. But then I need to run like consecutive ads, like they run alongside each other. I need to get the YouTube up and running again to have more of an online presence, and I need better quality footage. So a camera may be beneficial at some point. But I was in the group, and then all of a sudden people coming up with these things like guest speaking and stuff like that. And this is how I broke 1,000 sales package, stuff like that. I've sold 15 of them this week, and that's 15,000 in 1 week.
Jesus.
And maybe if that could be the best week they've had.
Yeah.
But 15,000, that's somebody's yearly salary down where I am.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
And it is
where I
am. Not be motivated when it could be that simple and you can impact somebody's life.
Of course, yeah. And like I say, yeah, my obviously aims, I'd like to do full-time PT and stuff like that, but one thing that obviously a lot of people don't know is that I haven't always been PT minded. When I was at school, never good with numbers, so I was always more drawn towards artistic sides, like writing, drawing. So when I was fresh out of school, I initially did my first year in art college. So it was a specialist college. I had to get good grades, and I came out with a diploma. It's a 2-year course. I joined the gym. I rode out my first year, and I just dropped out after the first year. I thought, this isn't what I want to do. I fell in love. It wasn't even falling in love with just the gym. I remember literally, I go with one of my closest mates at the time, and what I fell in love most with was teaching him how to do something and seeing that gratification. It was like, wow, this is working for me. I feel that. And that was all. It was almost like a drug. I just became hooked on it. I was constantly wanting to tell people how to do an exercise, or let me show you this ab routine, or let me show you how to train legs or do a squat properly. And that sort of thing was what sparked my journey going into PT. So dropped out, did my level 2. So I didn't pay for my PT course. A lot of people do, but I'm seeing a lot of gaps within paid courses now. It's literally just like a Happy Meal certificate.
The course I'm doing right now, I was with, I won't drop the name because a lot of people use them or anything like that, but the level 2 is just like, I understand I paid for it just so I could have the level 3 and the level 4 next to my name, because obviously some people, especially if they don't know who I am and they're just looking for like a PT and online, they want gratification and they want to know that you have been there and you've done that, you've committed to it and you've got the qualifications for it. So I just done it to get the name next to me and have level 2, level 3, level 4. I mean, level 2 basically just gets you to work in the gym, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, all that is like, this is a yellow handle on a machine. That means it moves.
Yeah.
Level 3, it's a bit more complicated, but then again, it's still big. It was like my assessment, I turned up and it was like, you got to use heart rate monitor to measure the heart rate during cardio. Keep it at a steady level. Go through warm up, cool down. Go through a normal multi-set. So a multi-set is like 1 to 3 sets, 8 to 12 reps, the basic stuff. Pyramid sets, ascending, descending, supersets, giant sets, and you have to pick 3. Yeah. And it was the most boring 45 minutes of my life. There was no intensity. It was just go through this, do that, go through this. And after that then, I just felt empty. I had the qualification and stuff like that. But it was just like, they're teaching you just to tick numbers and they tick boxes and stuff like that. There was nothing appeal to me.
Yeah. And like I said, most people, they just leave it there. They do the level 2, they do the level 3. They could do the same route as me, do a year and a year of college and apprenticeship, which is what I did, or you can pay and get it done in 4 weeks. But the fact of the matter is, people just leave it there, and what happens then is that they just go work in a commercial gym. They'll do like pure gym, a couple sessions a week. They'll quit after a year. The industry will chew them up and spit them out, and then we get onto the idea of PTs. You'll never make a living and stuff like that. I've been told it all before. The idea of this is that the industry is changing on a day-to-day basis. The studies that you'll find today probably won't have been practiced in 6 years' time, and the studies that we was doing now probably wasn't even heard of a couple of years back. So to be a good PT, you have to be investing, you have to be teachable, be open-minded.
You've got to have an interest.
I've seen PTs where they literally, I'll try to give them just a little talk and then they'll almost like throw it back in my face, and they'll be a bit stubborn about it because they think they're closed-minded and it's their way or no way, and it's not how you're going to succeed in the industry. You have to
No,
be teachable.
I mean, a lot of it now, especially of PTs, and they'll sell out. Like my brother goes to a separate gym to me, and he comes back and says, "You should see how busy this PT is." And then I'm like, "Oh, who is it? Who is it?" And then I'll have a look, see what they're doing, because at the end of the day, you want to sell out as well. Not just not just get numbers down, but you want good clients, ones you can give full quality to.
Yeah.
So I was having a look and stuff like that, and then I actually went down to that gym anyway, because when I had my car crash and I didn't have a car, I was like, any gym in the local area I could get to. So obviously the gym I train in, usually down Swansea, it's not, you can't walk there.
Yeah.
Unless you commit a day to walk in, which is like a month's worth of cardio for me. So I went down there, and it was just like, oh yeah, no wonder she's busy, because it's the same thing all the time. It's just what girls wanted. It's, the whole cable kickbacks. There was light RDL, jump squats, and then step ups and stuff like that. And I mean, the step ups were done wrong because it was both feet at the same time. Right, using the glute ham tie to actually drive yourself up and develop the glutes. But that was unloaded as well. So it was everything to make you feel like you've achieved something, but there's no benefit to it. And it was just like one-off session. Or when will I see you next? There's 20, 25 quid.
Yeah.
Let's move on. See you next week. When can you do it? No, you got to commit to them. Say, if a PT's listening to this, my advice: do a bootcamp approach where you pay monthly. So I do 100, 150 a month, something like that. And you say you see me 2 to 3 times a week minimum, because if you have one good session, that means you've still got 6 days a week then, which is completely shit. So get that month. Have like a 3-month commitment, see the transformation and see what you can actually achieve when you put your mind to it. And it actually works out cheaper rather than paying for like 2 sessions a week.
Yeah. And like I say, another sort of tip, again, if you are a coach, it's not, this podcast ain't specialist towards coaches, but again, a little thing, if you are a PT, take this on board no matter what happens. You can, the girl, let's take the girl, for example, that Josh was on about. She could have been booked out, but she could have been charging £10 an hour. No fucking shit would I be booked. I would be booked out. I would be doing 100 hours a week, and I could be on a tenner an hour. But what's that going to leave you? You're going to be overworked. You're not going to be able to apply the same level of service throughout your clients, which is unfair. You're going to be underselling yourself rapidly if you do have the right qualifications and you are investing in yourself. Whereas if you charge a more premium price, you're going to be attracting people that want to work with you, people that are going to commit to the plan. At a tenner an hour, I can throw tenners away for fun. I aren't going to commit to a PT that's paying £10 a month, a session, sorry.
Mates rates and stuff like that. People go, oh, can you do me up a diet plan for free?
Yeah.
And what happens? You give them something for free, and it's straight in like the spam folder or something like that, and you don't look at it again.
Yeah.
Pay for it, and you're actually going to look at it.
Being there, yeah, it's frustrating. And those diet plans, they go, they're hours of work. I've done, even on social media, it is an element of starting up. Don't get me wrong, you have to do free work and give out value, but there comes a point where you have to start doing, like, attracting customers that are going to be worth your niche. And I've done free courses, I've done 3 months, I've dedicated my days, I ain't gone out on weekends just to set up these clients online for absolutely zero charge, and 2 weeks down the line have walked all over me. So that's it, just days and hours have gone, but it's got to be done, and this is why you can't undersell yourself. You've got to be doing something that's going to, merit you a good service. Cheap prices attract cheap customers. You're never going to be able to expand yourself, and with that comes expanding a business. It's not going to happen. Start off with a good price, direct debits, deals, monthly options, exactly like Josh was saying. Boot camps are hugely popular, because again, people think boot camp, I'm training like an army. The army, they're all in good shape. It's a mental approach as to how the body works and what we want to look like. So yeah, that'd just be sort of for PTs, which again leads us on to how to sort of being a better coach. We've already covered, if you're listening up to this point, you've now got a wide skill set that will apply you to be a better coach now. So, not to undersell yourself, not to do bollocks exercises, do stuff that's going to be backed by research and make sure that you're being teachable and open-minded. So being a better coach is just, if you want this, if you're passionate, you will be a better coach. It's self-explanatory. Knowledge will fall at your feet, and you will continuously be better at investing. Or if you don't want to be a better coach, you're going to be on a tenner an hour and be booked up for like 600 hours a week. It's not going to happen. But yeah, that's sort of like the thing. So we've covered, topics on fat loss, problems with the industry. So I'm currently on a prep up, sort of like a show prep. Show date September so far. So although we are a couple of weeks out, well, a lot of weeks out, I started early simply because it's my first show. Now I don't do anything half-assed. I'm not going to be sulking if I don't get first place, but I want to almost come in with a podium placing. So I've given myself a lot of weeks to make mistakes, and it's just evident that I have. I've had a couple of curveballs from away in terms of funding, software, food, etc. There's loads of stuff I won't bother getting into, but that means now that I have these weeks to play with to then better myself and still bring a good package to the stage. So nothing has changed. A lot of people, they approach show preps like, right, so I'm now in a show prep, so now I instantly have to drop the heavyweight, everything I've worked for, and instantly just do sets of 15. When it doesn't really look like that. My training has only transitioned from a PPL to sort of like one muscle body per day, so it allows me to focus on that. But other than that, I'm still, low volume, top set, back off set, drop sets here and there, but ultimately, I'm still doing what got me the mass, because it's going to keep me the mass as well. So training, cardio is minimal. You look at some of the leading coaches in the UK, you look at their clients, they'll tell you they was on minimal cardio. We're talking 2 30-minute list sessions a week max, and that'll only be like 8 weeks out. So as it stands, no cardio is needed. And I'm going to be trying bringing my best condition. I'm going to use this as an example to clients and people online that there is no fancy diet, there is no shortcuts. It's literally just creating a calorie deficit, controlling your macros, and looking at other outlets of your training, and you'll look the best you've ever looked.
Yeah, I think the best thing as well is that you have a huge market of coaches. You obviously have the most expensive ones, and money doesn't really define how good a client, how good a coach is. But the higher end coaches, they give you attention to detail on everything. But not only that, there is disparity between it all because different coaches give you different kind of guidelines of how to achieve that goal. Like when I'd never trained for a show, but how I started bodybuilding was that I contacted Jamie DeRego, who just turned pro, and he's Welsh as well. And I spoke to him, and I wanted to obviously put lean mass on and stuff like that. And then I wanted to cut down for this holiday. Everybody does a boys' holiday around 17, 18, don't they? And I wanted to be lean for it, and I think I got down to around 5-6% body fat for it. So just off show standards, maybe, but not to the point where I was like physically and mentally knackered. So I contacted him, and the food was high. Food was really high. Training was the same. It's got to be progressive regardless. You got to aim to progress. You may not progress, especially in the latter weeks, but you got to aim to progress throughout the whole training block and the whole prep window to even retain the muscle, especially if you're natural and stuff like that. But so the cardio is pretty high. I mean, I started on 20 minutes of 1 minute on, 2 minutes off, bit of cardio, and I worked up to like an hour of doing the same thing. So it wasn't quite the high intensity interval training kind of approach, but there was enough to get my heart rate in high enough to what we call the fat burning zone. But it was tough, and you got to have the food for it. But then you may have another coach who may get you on much lower food, but then you do minimal cardio. And then you have some of the leading coaches then who emphasize just getting steps in, and you can just go for like 2 to 3 power walks a day towards the end of your prep because you're so lean anyway. So it's nice. You can have one coach that does one thing, but you may want to go find another coach that gives you a different perspective on it all. I don't really have a philosophy other than how to weight train. It's completely subjective to the client. Like I've had clients come to me for 100 kilos and they can lift as much as me, maybe more, but they work manual labour jobs. And if you have a manual labour job, you don't need that much cardio because 8 to 9 hours a day plus, you're labouring around and you're spending a lot more calories.
Of course. Yeah. The main thing there is individuality, and the coach is there. Josh will be applying that variable to his clients, and that basically is understanding that each client is different. What works for one client will not work for another client. You have to be making sure that you are doing something that works for each client, because each client is built differently, so they're going to move, feel, and respond differently to both stimuluses to training and nutrition. And that separates you from being a good coach or a bad coach, and your results will show with your clients, because 3 months' time, say if they look the same, or 6 months' time they look the same, you're obviously not applying some sort of method that works for them as an individual. It's personal. You have to get to know your client, understand how they move, how they feel, mentally, physically, and the results will show if you're applying individuality. It does work.
Yeah.
So, but like I say, it's Mental Health Awareness Week this week, isn't it?
I think May's the whole month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go check out Mental Health Muscle on Instagram. Some really good stuff coming through there.
Yeah.
But it's a like I said, it's a tough topic to discuss. It's completely subjective to each person. You can't go saying, "Oh no, you can't be depressed because I am, and I'm really depressed." Everybody's fighting their own battles about it all.
Yeah. And like I say, there's some superb info out at the moment. One of the things that I'm currently studying, I like to know how humans react, and not even from a business point or PT point. I just love learning about how the human body is designed to work, how to feel, and stuff like that. And affirmations is something that I'm really, really keen on at the moment, and it is the idea of that no matter what happens prior to sort of like past traumas, anything sort of family issues, that we can still program our brain to be whatever we want to be. I myself, I grew up in foster care, for example. I could dwell on my past. I could think, oh, I've came from nothing. I don't have anything. I could just dwell on that. My brain would program itself to be negative. I won't be where I am right now. But by using affirmations, I'm able to say, I'm going to be something. I'm going to make this person proud. I'm going to do this for myself. And you just tell yourself that daily. I'm going to be a better coach. I'm not going to be poor. I'm not going to struggle. I'm going to have good meals today. And eventually your brain reprograms itself. And what happens through your mind starts going in subconsciously. And when it's subconsciously, you start doing these things second nature. So it's just little stuff like reading. I read 30 minutes daily, without a doubt. And slowly that's just becoming a subconscious thing. So I'm constantly spending 30 minutes just to read, and how I compose myself, how I speak, how I manage my time has literally tripled in productivity. And that is no joke, honestly. It's just little changes to your life you're able to reprogram yourself to be the best version you can be. It's amazing.
I think you can apply that as well. I mean, that's one of the reasons I got into all of it is when I started training, and I took it seriously for this holidays, stuff like that. You start to learn how to manage your time and how to dedicate yourself 110% to a process. So if you want to get something out of it, you've got to give everything to it. You've got to manage time. Like I do the meditation, 30 minutes to an hour, but it'll knock me out to sleep. And my mood the next day, which I know it sounds crazy, and it's completely free. You can do it on YouTube or whatever. Just search it, and you go on there, and it really does calm me right down.
Yeah.
And just little things like really trying to control your breathing through the diaphragm rather than just heavy chest breathing through the mouth and stuff like that. Once you focus on your breathing, you're out. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, I actually learned that from Josh as well. I've never seen nobody on Instagram do those videos before, and I messaged him about it. It might be one of the first conversations we had actually, and it was the meditation things. And honestly, it's ridiculous. Just like I say, controlling your breathing, maintaining a calm mindset, being at peace. It helps massively. And once you sleep right, once you start controlling different variables of your life, you'll start feeling better internally. And yeah, mental health is something that, for the people that are diagnosed, it's going to come across harsh to say that when you can deal with it, when there are solutions to help ease it off, there are ways, but it's just how you sort of approach your day-to-day life. If you affirm yourself as being negative and being sad, you're ultimately going to feel that way. If you affirm yourself and be positive, try to think of one good thing in your day. You've got gratification diaries. James Smith, his Instagram, he does a lot of gratification stuff. There's other trainers that do it, and you just note down one thing that you're grateful for in that day, and it just means no matter what happens in your day, you're grateful for that one thing. You're grateful to have a family, to have a job, to have a roof over your head, and it's just little stuff like that, focusing, that's going to make you a lot more happier internally. When you're happier internally, you're going to start promoting better vibes externally. So yeah, it's a touchy subject for those that do struggle with it. Some people do, some people don't. It's just a case of affirming yourself, trying to make a positivity, like making a good thing out of a bad thing. Really, that's always been my take on it.
Yeah, so. I mean, I agree with you. At the end of the day, once you're in that frame of mind where everything is negative, it is the hardest thing in the world. Sometimes it's not even a feeling that you can describe.
Yeah,
it's just paralysis of the mind. You're there and you're in this moment which feels impossible.
Yeah.
There's no other way to do it. You have just got to find a way to cope with it. It is tough, you know. If you've got to isolate yourself, you've got to isolate yourself. One of the things I did is actually I deleted a lot of social media. Not like permanently. Yeah, I permanently deleted WhatsApp because I didn't like group chats or anything like that. I done that before I started the whole PT thing as well because of anxiety and everything. But you've got to find certain ways. You've got to find different triggers that will help you, and you've got to make notes of how you approach these things. So I knew that reducing social media time. I know, believe it or not, I actually do manage social media time, which is quite difficult when business is mainly online. You've got to kind of figure out how much hours and how productive you can be in those hours, and then limit it. Because once you start scrolling through, especially Instagram, you got, if you're feeling bad about money or you're feeling bad about relationships or anything like that, next minute everything's popping up, and that's what you want. You completely forget about what you already have. So you've got to take a minute, just turn your phone off or something like that, and you've got to realise what you really do have.
Yeah, that speaks to me a lot, very, very personally. Literally, we're talking a couple of months back, I was inches away from just logging out my account and fucking the whole thing off and just going full-time PT. And the reason that came from his Instagram is literally just a shop front. It just shows what is on the outside. It's nothing on the inside, so it almost puts you subject to just saying what you're just constantly saying, I don't have this, when really if you look at what you do have, those what you do's far outweigh what you don't have. And what happens is when you start doing what I did and you're constantly scrolling looking at people that you admire to be, saying why do they have this many clients, or why do people like his stuff but not my stuff, like what's wrong with me, you put yourself in a pretty fucked up place, and you're allowing your happiness to be subject to people's opinion. You're literally giving yourself away and just being a slave to Instagram, which ultimately is what it wants, because then you spend more time on it. But like I said, as Josh said, time management, it may be tough if you do manage a business online, but you can still manage time on the app, and just focus on what you are doing. Keep doing your content, keep being consistent, and do it for you. Make sure that when you have these goals that you're not like saying, I want to do it for more likes, or I even see people taking it as far as people want to compete just for likes.
I think everybody's done that at some point, especially it's different for me now because I have a different perspective on it all, and I understand that some people have been around longer than me, and some people get their message across better than me. But everybody's been there, especially when they were at school and after college and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You and your friends were competing for likes and stuff like that, and that is not good.
Yeah.
But I think in terms of productivity and limiting social media time, I learned well from the owner of OFB, Suck, and he said, work in like these intense bursts. So out of the hour, 50 minutes, you have no internet access, you have no Safari or Mac and stuff like that, you have no Google Chrome open. And if you're making content, type it up in your notes, and in that 10 minutes of the hour, have a little break where you can just get the content on social media, and then you can browse through.
Yeah, of course, yeah. That's just time management, and it does work. It helps a lot. I found that waking up early, significantly early. So it's like yesterday, for example, I started work at 6, so I had to be up ridiculously early. But by waking up early, your time management is better. I'd scheduled all my social media, done my reading, done my ads. So before 6:30 in the morning, I had ultimately no reason to be on social media, just by managing my time more efficiently. And it's just little tips and tricks that are going to help you be a lot more happier. And when you're happier, you see a different version on your life. So it's like my Instagram now, my social media, instead of chasing people's verification and sort of like me meaning something to them, I've just done away with that, and now it's like I produce content, I want to help people, and it's like I'm just working for me now, I'm doing it for me now. And I've seen a huge surge in my confidence, general actually sales, how I help people. I get a lot more kind of messages, and just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Don't do it for the gratification and verification of others, because it won't put you in a very good place, believe me when I say that.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah. But like I say, we're running on what we're on now. Wow, 50 minutes. Time really does fly. So
it does.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I think we've covered quite a lot of topics here. First sort of guest having on the podcast, been very, very good. So I'm ready to wrap it up there. Is there anything you want to add on to the episode?
I think anybody who is looking to actually achieve a goal, Because I know it's easy to say lose weight or whatever. It's such a common one. It's like, I would say it's 99%. That's what people want to do. They just want to look better, don't they? It's for social media.
Yeah.
And obviously a bit of it's for yourself as well. But you want to look better for when you go to Ibiza or something like that. That's why a lot of people want to lose weight.
Yeah.
Make sure you give yourself enough time. You know, at the end of the day, this whole toning myth has got us into this kind of deception that you can buy an 8-week program from these big companies with 100,000 followers, which are like under 50 quid. You don't get an 8-week program for 50 quid and it's not shit.
Yeah.
No, it's got to be tailored to you.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I can always give the example, especially sciatica and lower back pain, which I've always had, is can that person do a proper back squat? And even if they don't get injured from it, what are they targeting? Are they focusing on knee flexion, or are they trying to go for full hip extension to target hamstrings, glutes?
Yeah.
Are their heels elevated? Do they need to have their heels elevated? Stuff like that, and little cues that you don't get unless you have a proper coach doing it. But you give yourself enough time, because what you'll see is you have 8 weeks or something like that for a holiday, which you just booked. 8 weeks is always like the rough time frame I use. It could be less, and you don't know how much weight you need to lose. So you just go, I need to lose weight. So you've already set yourself up for failure, because at what point do you know you've lost enough weight? You can step on the scale one day and you've lost 4 pounds. The next, you've lost 2 pounds, but then you think, hang on, I've only lost 2 this week, I need to be more drastic. By the end of the day, you've still lost weight. But you don't know how much weight you need to lose. Set yourself that goal, or set yourself a kind of aesthetic goal where you take regular progress pictures, take your waist measurements, your thigh measurements, your bicep measurements, stuff like that, so you know you're losing body fat, not just scale weight. But you've got, the biggest one is time. Give yourself more time than you need. When the new year starts, don't just say it's a New Year's resolution. You know you're going to be booking a holiday in the summer. Give yourself 2 months and something like that to add some good quality muscle mass. Especially women, you don't get that toned look without developing muscle anyway. So get that quality muscle mass ready, and then ease yourself into the holiday. Give yourself 12, 16 weeks. Give yourself more than that if you need to, where you only need to be in the smallest calorie deficit. 8 weeks, and then all of a sudden then your friends are going out on a Saturday and you're there with just a salad, no protein, anything like that, which is ridiculous anyway. You're starving. At that point then, you give yourself a weekend maybe, and you start binging on the Chinese. That's failure. You've got to keep control. You've got to keep on top of it all. It's hard if you look on the outside of it, but if you take it meal by meal, decision by decision, when you go to the cupboard and you see a chocolate bar, just walk away from it. Do it once, you can do it again. If you think, hang on, I can't eat chocolate for 3 months, guess what you're going to do? Eat chocolate. Take it decision by decision. And I tell you what, it gets so much easier.
Cravings crack, and once you crack a craving, it's just going to lead to overeating. Where does that lead you? Back at square one before that New Year's resolution where you want to lose weight. And that's when you turn to, we won't get into it, but that's where you turn into, being probable clients for stuff like Slimming World and Boom Bod. So just make the right choices, make smart food choices. You've got stuff like, so say if you like ice cream, everybody fucking loves ice cream, everybody loves pizza. You've got like high fat, low fat versions, you've got lower calorie versions. Don't suffer with foods, just make smart food choices. You can still lose weight by eating pizza as long as you're still in a deficit and going for a smarter option of pizza. Go for a low fat or muscle food pick, high protein versions.
At the end of the day, unless you're planning on stepping on stage, you do not have to restrict certain foods.
Of course. Super.
You should friend have a higher calorie deficit throughout the week. Reduce carbs from meals, you don't need them. I know I advise not to reduce your carbs on the training window, because your training is where everything's made. If you want to lose weight, even if you weight train, you're still going to lose weight. You're burning calories. And if you say you cut your carbs for that day, and all of a sudden you have no energy for that workout, you probably missed out on like 200-300 calories just from the lack of energy. So you got to keep energy high, but start plucking away at different meals, and then by the time you've worked up to Saturday, which is 5-6 days away, you've got enough to have a night out and not detriment your progress.
Very agree with that. But like I say, clocking on 50, 5 minutes now around.
Yeah.
Absolutely enjoyed the podcast, but like I say, we're more than enough covered enough topics. So if you have watched up until now, huge thank you to that. And if you are watching, make sure to give us a subscribe, mention us on your stories, let us know that we've reached a couple of people. And yeah, like I say, you may see this video on Josh's channel, his account. You may see it anywhere, but for sure you'll be seeing it on my Instagram, my YouTube, everywhere. But yeah, like I say, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and I hope to have Josh on again and a whole host of guests. So we'll wrap it up there, guys. See you next time.
No worries. Thanks, guys.